Rastafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn Bankie. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture.
Come to the Everything Agriculture Show. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in another Friday evening. You could be doing any other thing, but you choose Listen to Real Entertainment Network. Shows that you have that interest when it comes to agriculture and the environment you live in, when it comes to living it in a better place for the next generation and those who are even born as yet. So yes, and good evening to you. Also good evening to the folks in the neighboring islands, the folks in Sabre, Statia, St. Barts, Montserrat, Antigua and Barbuda, not forgetting the folks throughout the whole Windward Islands, also the folks in the diaspora. And let me go back and saying the folks here, Orly and Layamiga, if you're first time listener, is the indigenous name for St. Kitts and Nevis, the Federation. Huh? Take it out the car. Yes, sorry about that. Also, good evening to the folks in the diaspora, North America, from the Florida Keys, right up to Maine. I know it's coming on to much warmer weather, getting out of that winter time into spring, and then down into the summertime. So you should be in much more spirit and getting some rain. Also, the folks in Europe, in a different time zone, England, folks over in Asia, wherever you're to the sound of my voice, good morning, good evening, whichever is appropriate. Thank you for choosing Real Entertainment Network. Remember, Real Entertainment Network is sponsored by Shabazz Organics at Mansell's Last Stop and Imperial Rides. So greatly appreciate all the customers who keep coming by in the daytime just to chill, have conversation, and to enjoy the farm and stuff like that. So keeping my Uncle Mansell legacy alive. Also, sorry about the well, we apologize for the renovation. We just opening up, just make sure open up the bar and have a smoothie area. You can come and get your smoothie and stuff like that. I'm hoping to have a night, maybe one of these nights, to have a poetry night for those who love poetry. We're gonna choose a day where we can have poetry and soft music and stuff like that and enjoy at least for an hour or two from maybe 6 o'clock in the afternoon up until 8 o'clock, a poetry session. Everybody doing karaoke, and there was a time when I used to be a lot of poetry, so that would be something more reasonable for my liking. So, Yahsonn, good evening to you.
Global greetings. Welcome to another edition of Everything Agriculture. It's a pleasure to be here on another beautiful Friday evening. Wonderful day here in Queen City, Nevis. I hope everybody is having a wonderful time. I want to say thanks to all who are logged in. As we are starting the program, those who are already logged in, just want to encourage you to go on over to the YouTube platform. We are streamed live on YouTube, streamed on Twitch TV, streamed on Facebook. And we want to encourage you to go on over to the YouTube platform, click on the subscribe button, like the channel, share, and click on the notification bell so that every time we are live, you would be updated. I want to say a very special thanks to all those who would have, came out today and helped to be a part of the fundraiser for June Brown. We here on the platform would have been pushing the GoFundMe page for June Brown as she goes through her medical challenges, and was seeking funding for her medical challenges. Today, the Ministry of Tourism would have put on an event today at Heritage Village in an effort to raise some funds as well for June Brown. And we want to thank all those who would have come out and be a part of that Heritage Day event. I understood that there are some people who, even though they are living on Nevis, they came there for the first time and were amazed at the ambience and the setting and all that. So we want to encourage folks to come on down, and there's a small fee for the tour. There's a tour that you can do there at Heritage Village that teaches you a bit of what happened or what life used to be like back in the 17th and 18th century, and back in the 60s and 70s and 50s and 40s and those years. So you can do that tour. And also there is the Heritage Cafe, which is inside the Heritage Village, where you can get a lot of local dishes, local juices, and there's a nice ambiance there for you to sit and get some Wi-Fi. And if you want to work away from the office, it's a nice environment for you to sit at a table with a couple of glasses of, whether it's lemonade or ginger beer or sarsaparilla or something. So I want to say thanks to all those who would have passed through and made their contribution to the event, and look forward to seeing you on a regular basis. This evening, looking forward to the discussion, looking forward to the engagement. As usual, Everything Agriculture, we're living in a time now where more than ever, we really need to zoom in and focus on the food that we are eating. There's so much that's happening out there. There's the genetically modified issues that's taking place out there. There is, where they actually modifying the seeds and modifying what you eat. So when you think that you're maybe really eating an apple, you're eating something that was created in a lab. Even on the meat side, there's some countries in the US where they actually have allowed the use of lab made meats that are being sold in stores. And part of the argument that they're presenting is that, oh, you're being a bit more animal friendly because you're not killing the animals, but they are taking some cells and developing, whether it's a piece of um, lamb quarter, or if it's a piece of steak, or I don't know, these different cuttings that y'all have for the meats and so on. But whatever it is, they're actually growing it in a lab and then selling it to you. And they're calling it alternative meat or something like that. So we got to be careful, and I use the example with the meats, but they're actually doing some of that with the vegetables as well. And then they're modifying even down to the seeds. And so one of the things, as we engage in the discussions this evening, one of the things I really want to encourage us as a people to do, and apart from us as a people, I want to encourage the government and those who are involved in the agricultural industry to seriously focus on a seed bank where we can preserve the seeds that we have and seek to, replant and recycle a lot of the seeds that we have. And also, we see what's going on with the wars all around the world. We definitely need to ensure that if for whatever reason boats can't come, or if for whatever reason some one of these guys who are out there trigger happy or whatever and they drop a bomb somewhere, they maybe make use of nuclear weapon or something, and we're in a position where the food is wiped out off of the earth, um, we're gonna have to find a way to survive. So we really need to, if we're not really seriously thinking along these lines, need to begin to seriously think more seriously along the lines of having a seed bank. And it must need to start from the home basis, where when you buy your tomato or your pepper and so on, you try to at least save and then recycle, and so you could keep that variety of that strain and so on, and then you share with your neighbor to get different varieties and stuff like that. So Bankie, these are some of the issues as we continue, helping to empower our brothers and sisters to take the agricultural industry and to take farming a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, but Yahsonn, if we have leaders and we're not leading by examples, how will people take it? See, even those who into it are forced to say they're gonna give up because they're not getting the help, because you need stuff that is tangible. Agriculture is one of those industry that requires a lot of capital to put in if you want to do it right and do it smart. At the same time, you need transport. You're gonna use fuel. You're gonna need storage, both coal and dry, and then you're gonna need machineries if you're gonna go into agro-processing for value-added products. So you end up with less storage. So we should not be having this conversation on a virgin. We should not be having this conversation because our people have access to all resources that are there. You see what I mean? They just have to ask. They have the Taiwan, they have Southern University, they have so much different agencies, allied agencies, when it comes to training our farmers and asking for, because the funding is there, it's just that we choose not to. You see what I mean? So right now, the cost of fuel, I've never seen the cost of fuel like this in my life, ever. I remember when fuel was like $8 and now it's like then 10 and then 9 and now it's almost $20 and diesel is over $25. So once these prices go, these prices will never, ever, ever come back down below $20. You know that. I would know that. So which means the cost of it is going to go so high. So what's going to happen to the farmer? When you got to spend an extra, the cost of diesel almost doubled, the gas almost doubled from 13 to now 18, and you know you're going to go up by July. Come on. So what? The cost of the farming products gonna goes up too. So the whole cost of living gonna go up. That's the point I'm making. Whether it's a cost of milk, because you gotta come from overseas, this flour, You see what I mean? These are the reality. My point is we should not be paying VAT. We should not be paying VAT. All this money they're taking from this environmental levy, bringing a vehicle under 5 years old, where all those money goes in, is going. These are money should be going to help take off a lot of this pressure and all this thing. But when you're just mismanaging a country, and we have leaders who think that they're very everybody else is dumb and stupid, we all are the same cells, virgin. We all are the same. We all are one family. Is that small? So we ain't supposed to be trying to fool each other. That's just what it is. You see? So the common sense is once diesel goes up, my light bill gonna go up. So even if I go and get electrical vehicle, we're gonna put on solo. And then if not, if I got still a pay fossil fuel, well, my bill now go be charge the vehicle. So if you tell me now pay 10% from 40% duty or whatever you want to put it over, because the minister have one, well, who he talking to? Maybe he hosts a solo. These guys got to come and remember they're talking to people who just have the same brains like them, you know. We all are one people. So I don't like people who think because whatever, I don't like that. Okay? I do not like when people think me dumb. Because I use simple common sense. I don't use paper. I use common sense and logic. Because that is what makes you survive every day. These basic things, to analyze things. It's today, Yahsonn. We're talking about energy. I met people every day, you know. And a gentleman told me, you know, you have people from the around here doing geothermal work, right? Said they will here for a month and whatever. Me say, oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't hear no announcement made that people who are geothermal are supposed to get in machine and bring in X amount of people. I said, all right. Well, I listened to here when Mr. and the federal side or the Navy side going to speak about these geothermal people here doing their work, whatever. Because me no want to hear about geothermal. I would not entertain the conversation until you can give me a budget that will how much this going to cost, how much don't pass for the last 20 years. This is the whole generation don't pass is geothermal what I mentioned, you know. A whole generation don't come from 0 to in the 20s. Nothing yet. And people and now you're talking about this and geothermal. So how much money have spent then over the last 20 years and why now and what it will cost with all this exploration and all this setting of whatever need to be put up plant and then all this underlying water. Well, tell me it'll cost 500 million. And when it going to turn on the key? Until then, I ain't got nothing to say about that. That isn't, as far as I say, that's an exhibit. That I can scan again. It's like you sell a passport. Can you give you free money? You drill wrong hole, you plug it back. You say this no good, then this no good. Virgin. Taxpayers are who get it, and poor people. All this money could have gone and help poor people who are in the bathroom, out in the bathroom. You understand? And so who want help when it comes to the illnesses and all these dialysis machines, all these wastes of millions of dollars could have saved hundreds of lives. All these people who have died could have saved their lives when it comes to treatment of dialysis and all these things. You see? But we tend to play with our emotion. And that's the sad thing about it. Okay? Right now they're talking about social security reform. You see, and all these differences, raising the age of social security from 62 to whatever age. So you know, see, they want people to work longer and harder, and all this have to come from. There have to be some kind of mismanagement somewhere. So why no? While less people are working, so I would like to hear all the reasons why come to this point. The money will not in the next 14 years, when we are mismanaged so much of money all over the place when it comes to that projects and stuff like that. Farming is what if the only and the most important, one of the most important. Without that, we don't exist. We're closing where we live, the bills we drive, and we know these things. But yet, our people, okay, $5 million invested in a Tabasco sauce project. Acreage and $5 million, you know. Rule number 1, dance can't pay for the light. And they all knows that. Dance can't pay for the light. Okay? That's rule number 1. So you're going to go, because that's what they say, you know. They have realized the dance can pay for the light. So they're going to plant sweet potato and pumpkin. So when you're going to plant 5 acres of sweet potato, and you're going to plant X amount of acreage of pumpkin, what the farmers are going to plant? And then where you're going to sell them there as the government? If you, as the government, you're going to sell potato for $2 a pound or $1 a pound, but the farmer can't compete with you. I was the technician for the sweet pepper project, the cannabis, the cannabis, and for cannabis also. I was on the trip, so I know this was not part of the plan. The plan was negotiate with the farmers, sit with them, speak with them, and the farmers grow the pepper and they come up with a price. When the government going into manufacturing, you mean these people must teach you how to mash their product. Then when you must package it into a cylinder like them wine barrel. I guess the technician can go and pull up Louisiana the Tabasco sauce thing and find the picture where we stand up next to some barrel along with the Minister of Agriculture, I think it's and a few of us there. Because and then you still gotta try and salt, couple pounds of salt. We don't destroy with salt pan. So it mean we have to buy salt. They have got these drum where they make this thing in is the biggest barrel drum 10,000 barrel. They mix up all the things inside when they're making the hot pepper sauce and so forth. One of those drums you get 120,000 of the small Tabasco peppers, hot pepper sauce when you don't mix up one of those 10,000 to 15,000 gallon drums. You see the amount of a buckle to come out of one mixture, 120,000. Eh? You see what I'm talking about? Somebody make a big mistake and they need to pull that project and don't waste more money on that project. Nothing is wrong with that because it's not like you're going to go to pepper now. They're going to use those peppers. Whatever pepper have is grown here and no pepper plant yet. Then pepper will grow here anywhere is not going to be used until the next 30 or 40 years. That's how what pepper is using for the Tabasco sauce is aged peppers.
Hold a second, Bankie. As you talk about no pepper plant yet, I am not certain that we got a report in relation to the pilot project, because remember there was a pilot project.
The project is there. There's a thing out there, son. There's a video out. You see the video?
Showing what?
The pepper project with the sweet potato and all the acreage, nearly more than 5 acres of the Martin.
Hold on. Remember, I know what you're talking about. This new SKN Farms, I think they say it's called.
Yeah, that's the area. That's it. That's the Tabasco pepper. That's it.
Hold on. Here's what I'm saying. Remember, prior to this starting of it, they would have done a pilot project. Nevis was a part of
in Nevis and St. In Nevis and St. Kitts.
And some was going in, I think it's Indian Castle.
Exactly.
Some was going, and then another set was going. What I'm saying is, did we get a evaluation in terms of what was the end result of the pilot projects, both in Nevis and in St. Kitts?
Failure. Indian Castle one dead, and 13 left back over Cades Bay. And they take a picture with the Tabasco sauce next to it and put it in the paper and say,
that's Nevis.
St. Kitts failed too. The people in St. Kitts wasn't pleased about the growth of the peppers them. From what I was told.
So
yes.
I am listening to that and I'm trying to figure out then if the pilot projects failed, why are we seeking to invest so much more into this when based on what you are saying and from some of the figures that I've seen, because I've done some research myself into the pepper production and what I've noted when you're going to do it on such a large scale, these people who are going to be buying it wholesale are going to be looking for a very, very low wholesale rate to purchase at, because they're going to be looking at a certain tonnage. So the average person who might be expecting say $6 a pound might find that they might be getting less than $1 a pound. So these are some of the things that was this really seriously thought through? I mean,
Yahsonn, the education level of the federal cabinet is over 100 years old. You know, remember pure doctors. You know, a lot of doctorates. You know. And masters, you know, we're talking about. We thought through. You have me not gonna pay think, you know. Me just still a basic kind of thing, you know, we're talking about. It was thought through. These are the leaders running the country, you know. So we need to get kindergarten people around the country then. My 6-year-old and the children around the country then. What you really saying? Because remember, no, you have the minister of education, I'm a doctor, the one with the water in charge of we call it the communication engineer, but no water, prime minister, doctor, well specialized. Nobody could build a hospital. You see what me talk about? And every time people speak, conditional hospital, conditional hospital. It's either you're drinking when you get in, you become one in the country, you start to drink something, it happening in the water. I end up in a room with somebody suck all the ear out the room and put it next to the ear in there, poisonous car. This thing don't make no sense, Virgin. The Minister of Agriculture just went to a trip overseas and cannabis, and hear nothing about cannabis. And also he along with the CEO of the Medical Cannabis Authority, and he didn't say nothing. We're gonna be all over the place, cause we don't have no guests, so we could talk and do the thing. But we just jumping in everything, cause he's the Minister of Agriculture. And then the CEO still stop off over in Antigua at the Antigua when they had the cannabis festival over there. I didn't know if the minister came back, I guess, to have a press conference. Mentioned nothing inside there about where he went on the trip and how it would have benefited the people of, and they didn't even work with a farmer, work with whoever's technician from the Ministry of Agriculture, anything like that. Nothing. So what was that about? You see what I mean? In all the way in Germany, I saw over there. I mean, come on. Virgin is either we're going to take food serious. To the ended agriculture 31 years of in the open then Nevis was 30 years this Single is 1 year ahead 31 years. What extra do they have to call? And no cannabis that to show. No cannabis in Nevis to show. Music festival will come up. What extra have been done? Farmers can't get away to buy, but if you're going to win a raffle ticket, you get to win enough way to fence the acre of land and poles. But if you call to buy wire, you can't get a wire. Or the wire cost $1,200 a arc and a price. Or the wire that is there is for the same nature project. The wire is for the nature project. And farmers want wire to fence the property. But the wire that is there, sitting down, hundreds and hundreds of wires, is for 300, and then I plant food, cheese, and all these different things and all kind of something. Who
Bankie,
a fool?
people are going to all these queen shows and calypso shows and different kind of things, and they don't get all kind of prizes. They say they're gonna win car, and something they didn't get the car till a year after. They say they win an acre of land, part of acre of land. So when it comes to these prizes, maybe really and truly.
Your pause.
They're just giving the prizes. They're telling you that you can get the prize, but it might not necessarily be available at the time. When you go to collect it, you just might have to wait a little bit because they tell you win it, yes.
I see.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And Bankie, sometimes I really wonder, and the wondering sometimes is not even so much about the politicians. It's more a wondering about my people and how they allow themselves to get so caught up and bought into like the kind of thing. Okay, like for example, just like how you just spoke about the Tabasco pepper project and so on, right? And then just based on what you are saying, I was able to stop and say to myself, because I have a brain and I am thinking that has nothing to do with any political affiliation. This is just me listening to you saying, okay, well, the pilot project in Nevis failed, the pilot project in Sinkis failed, but we're hearing that you're going to embark on even a bigger project. So do I have to be supporting a political party to come to the conclusion that if something failed, a test failed, I would want to, if anything, maybe do another test again before I could even go on a large scale to deal with that. So do I have to be supporting a political party to come to that conclusion? But these are the kind of things when you do speak out or have to speak, people get offended thinking, well, oh, you're trying to diss them or you're trying to diss the government and these kind of things. People, We need to get, beyond these kind of little petty things. And this is one thing you're going to expect on this platform here. We are going to speak as we see it. As Bankie would say, we don't butter it up here. So here we butter up things.
No.
So if you're looking for that, you're going to have to find another platform. We don't butter it up. We just talk it like it is. Food security is such a critical issue. Cannabis is such a critical issue. And I'm hearing you say that the minister went away to address cannabis, came back, sorry, not address, went to some cannabis meetings.
Conference, yeah.
And conferences. Came back and would have had a press conference.
Yes.
And not include, not even a paragraph on cannabis, yes, to say, well, this, this is not good enough. However, that is one side of the argument, Bankie. And
but Yahsonn, but the minister knows if they need any help for promote any to disseminate information, just contact you, whatever, and information is out there. This is, and we want this thing to work, But we want this thing to work.
We have already given the minister and also the former CEO and Miss Jihan Williams Knight as well. The platform, we would have told them whenever they want to bring any information, yes, to the public. We are here. We have been we are the only media outlet that I know in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis that dedicate a week to cannabis. We usually, and this is the first Friday in the month, so generally usually the last, that we
yes,
dedicate the program to cannabis and cannabis discussions. And we have been doing this for about 5 years now. For a lot of you who are just coming on the platform, because a lot more people are following the platform and so on, and we have become a little bit more popular. For those of you, we're just going to give you a little reminder and a little update.
September gonna make 6 years. September gonna make 6 years.
Okay. And we have been here for all these years, first, mainly just dealing with agriculture. So we would have been one of the only programs as well, having an agricultural program every week. And then
yes,
we inserted the cannabis program to be the last, because when they said that cannabis is an agricultural crop, we decided, okay, well, we are going to focus on cannabis the last week in the month and zoom in on that topic. And we have been doing that for, as Bankie is saying, now nearly 6 years. So we are not just coming to talk about cannabis. We ain't just, some people feel like, because something happened with Bankie and so on, that we just, no, we have been out there fighting for you. And you know what, Bankie, you know what's funny? I remember when Nubian spoke on the platform when we had the march. You know what Nubian said? I don't know if you had really get to pay attention, because we were all wrapped up. It's just me listening to it again at some point the other day. I went back and listened to what Nubian was saying. And what Nubian was pointing out is to tell the people that the first time he met you and he had a conversation with you is when you came at this program and you came to defend those people who were being locked up and being charged $18,000 and the $12,000 and the $15,000 in Nevis. I was saying that you don't feel like that should have happened because you know that their constitutional rights are being breached. And according to what, these should have been just ticketable offenses.
But I'm not sure if that's, that wasn't the first time he met me. We met before at the Marriott when they had the cannabis, first ever cannabis, what was?
Okay, right, yes.
Some cannabis something at the Marriott for like a whole weekend. Expo, the expo or something like that. Yes, that was when we met first.
When you came on his platform, okay, well, I think maybe that he was saying when you
came
on his platform.
Yes.
And then the next time when you came back now, when you yourself know would have gotten arrested. But he said you came here first to defend those who are being
who get locked up. Who get locked up. Yes.
And so,
exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. It's funny that there's some people, there's an audience out there who's saying, oh well,
of course,
people only rallying around because it's Bankie and Bankie get locked up, and we was you know, I mean, Bankie when all these other people got arrested. And so it's
Yes.
important still to clear the ear that you would have been out there
Yes.
champion for them. And we have been here on the platform. There are different ways and means of doing it. You know, you could march, you can protest, but here is also a platform where you could have educated and informative discussions that seek to educate and inform people
Of
and have a
course.
platform here. If you have something, a question that you want answered, that we can see if we could answer it, or bring the professional people, which we have been doing over the years, because we would have had Garfield
Yes.
Alexander, who would have been the former acting CEO. Like we said, we had
Yes.
Jihan Knight. We would have had Samuel Duggins
Mm-hmm.
himself, the minister. We would have had Nadif
Mackie
Mills,
Ale.
who is the CEO,
Yes.
right? I mean,
After
and we would have
Emmanuel,
had
we had also the advisor from Jamaica. Yes.
right, and Dr. Knife, who is also
Yes.
a cannabis advocate. So we would have had
Yes.
the brethren there from Jamaica as well too,
Even
who was instrumental.
Saint Vincent too. We have Saint Vincent, the Cannabis
Andrew Garden,
Authority.
Andrew Garden,
Also, people from Jamaica also.
yeah, Andrew Garden from Jamaica, who was
Yes.
instrumental in
Yes.
setting
Yes.
up
Yes.
Jamaican cannabis. So
Yes.
we have been here, we have been doing it. So to dispel all of these, that's why sometimes we don't answer these things really, because I know a lot of people.
Yes.
We have heard a lot of things, but we opted not to really respond to some of those
Of
things
course.
because we. But it's just because we're having the conversation now and it came over, they just decided to put that in.
I
But
got
we
you.
have been doing
Yes.
this and we will continue to do this. But as we continue where I was now, that was the cannabis medical side of things, and Mr. Duggins represent the medical side of things. The major part of the problem that we have has to do with the ecclesiastic side of things, where we have never heard the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley even mention anything about cannabis when he is responsible for the two major areas that Sankofa took the police commissioner to court for. The police commissioner was taken to court to deal with spiritual or religious cannabis and to deal with privacy, the use of cannabis in your private space or to have it on your personal person and all that. Your rights, your what they call freedom of conscience rights, and the Rastafari religious rights. Those were the two areas that Sankofa focused on. And those two areas are placed under the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs. So if Rastafari right now wants to get their, well, they don't have to, but if they opt to get their license, they have to go through the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs. And for those who need the freedom of conscience license as well, you have to go through which is the license to get your 5 trees and to have your 56 grams on you. So there's $100 fee for that license, and I think it's valid for a year, right? The argument is that the $100 is for the registration to get the ID card that you're gonna get. So the argument is not technically that it is $100 to pay for the license, but it's to pay for the processing. That is the explanation that I've been given. But however, that is under the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs. The problem that we would have had prior to now, because since Bankie and Jammer's incident, it has forced the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs to act a bit more swiftly. So prior to that, when you go to that ministry, they didn't have any forms, they didn't have anything set up for you. So here is it that you have this right. Judge Ventos would have highlighted the fact that Rastafari have these rights. They are enshrined in our constitution. The government is supposed to do their regulations and adjustments. They refuse to be doing it. The Honorable Jeffrey Hanley would have been paid because this is a part of his portfolio. And some people don't look at it that way, but you're robbing the people because you're being paid to address a specific aspect of your portfolio and you're not doing absolutely nothing in regards to that. And that is the problem that we have. And that is why the police were still doing some of what they were doing, because these guys, and that's part of the problem that we're faced with. You have the executive who's supposed to be playing their role and they're not playing their role. We have the same thing happening here in Nevis. where the Ministry of Agriculture is concerned, because we have a Minister of Agriculture who seemingly totally wants to have nothing to do with cannabis. And as a matter of fact, up to this point, have said absolutely nothing about cannabis. One time he was on a talk show, and I remember Ras Aya called in to ask a question about Nevis's attempts and what they're going to do to move forward with the industry. And his response was that they are waiting on sin kits. Now, we listen to these, and these politicians sometimes they love to play these games with us. I listened to the Prime Minister a couple of months back when, I guess this was when the Destiny project was presented to him and so on, and he was speaking about it. And he sought to highlight the areas where the federal government have responsibilities in relation to Nevis, and the areas where Nevis have full autonomy to do whatever they want with. And agriculture happened to be one of those areas. So if agriculture happened to be one of those areas, why is it that the Minister of Agriculture in Nevis is telling me that he's waiting on the federal government, who has given what cannabis now under the Ministry of Agriculture, to do something for Nevisians, when in reality you can get up and do what you need to do if you really want to do something for the folks who should be benefiting from cannabis in Nevis. So you have the Minister
Well, that's the
of
point.
Agriculture doing anything. That's one. You have the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley and St. Kitts, who is the Minister of Ecclesiastic Affairs, who is not addressing the areas that are pertinent to the average citizens. And the citizens who they claim, I mean, the Prime Minister is boasting about the fact that they are the first in the Caribbean to recognize Rastafari. But you're boasting saying that, but Rastafari like Bankie and Jama is still being dragged in front of the court and being threatened to be criminalized by the same governance of the Prime Minister. So, I mean, you hear them talking and saying it out of one breath of their mouth, but then on the other side, a whole other thing is happening, because they have opted not to do what they should do and deal with the things that they should be dealing with. So, for example, they have opted to focus on medical cannabis or medicinal cannabis. Sankofa didn't take them to court for that. The area Sankofa took them to court for is the areas that they have seemingly willfully being dragging their feet on. And as a result, Rastafari is still suffering, and people are still left wondering what they can and cannot do. And even in the things that they can do, you are not ready to put your regulations together. Your regulations are not ready after 2019, and we're in 2026. So I would love to hear from the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley, who is responsible for the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs.
Really, Yahsonn? Really, to say what? Yahsonn, we don't do the work, the people. No. They don't need that. The people already don't do the work. We don't need to hear from Jeffrey Hanley. We don't need to hear from Eric Evelyn. We don't need to hear from the Premier. The people already forced their hand to Premier keeps saying the way the people don't the office functioning. The people don't do the work.
I agree with you with that.
The people don't do the work.
Fair enough. Hold on. Yes. Fair enough. In relation to that, I hear that. However, we must remember still that these ministers are working for us, and they should be held accountable to us. So even though we force them to do what they need to do, they still need to be able to tell us what caused them to be stumbling from 2019 when this thing was passed in the House to 2006.
Really?
And
bad mind.
Like to know.
Bad mind is not their interest. They don't love weed. They don't love ganja. That's all it is.
Yeah, we're paying you. We're paying you to report to us these things. So I would like to hear from Eric Evelyn too, as to why he, as the Minister of Agriculture, is telling me that he is sitting back and waiting on the federal government to do something in relation to something that we have absolute rights to deal with.
Culturama. That one you hear. Culturama.
This is where I said Bankie started off by saying, I started off by saying that it's not so much these ministers I have a problem with, it's our people, because our people are allowing them to do these things and get away with it. Because here is some of these same people who are being victimized and who are suffering are afraid to stand up and speak out, afraid to open them out and say, you are mash me. So they stop there and they take the mash, and they, even though you get mashed and the man rub it in on you. Because this is what they're doing, you know. Because they know that Judge Ventos would have already made those things come abundantly clear. So even the arguments that I'm hearing the Prime Minister and the AG making now in relation to public safety and health and all of these things, you only need to go and visit the Sankofa case and see that the defendants in the Sankofa case, who happen to be the CMO, the former AG, and the Commissioner of Police, they made those arguments in the Judge Ventos case, and Judge Ventos tell them, I hear you, but you have not sufficiently given me enough evidence that these things should impede and infringe upon the claimants, who happen to be Sankofa, constitutional rights. And he pointed out that there's nothing that they have out there that can supersede. No Kewa Drug Act, no Kewa Narcotics Act, no other law, no other thing that you sign on to could supersede the Constitution.
So you're telling me it take this particular judge to realize this, for this to be happening. For instance, in 1983, our Constitution gave the citizens the right for these things. And so all these years, they've been infringing the rights of their citizens. So this is reparation, you know, by all these magistrates have been infringing, and these police who have been infringing their citizens' rights and have abused their citizens and stuff like that. So we go back and expunge people criminal records and stuff. It is not good enough. We live in a society that does not love cannabis, but they love rum. That we keep it real, brethren. 2 weeks ago, there was a young lady from the National Drugs Council, for the Federal Drugs Council, on top of the Let's Talk show, along with two other local preachers. And the number one thing, and this when it comes to these, what must call it? What's the word I'm looking for, Yahsonn? Work with me there. Consumption of illicit drugs, or whatever you put it.
Drugs, yes.
Your voice thing. Good. Alcohol is number one. And then tobacco is number two. But then I talk about them the first top two. Amazing. You see, yes.
Legally, none out of the three that you mentioned is legalized. Mm-hmm. The three of them is only decriminalized.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
alcohol ain't legal, of course. Alcohol is only decriminalized, yes. And tobacco is only decriminalized.
Yes, collecting taxes.
And that is why when they had the CARICOM convention, when they went around commission about cannabis,
yes,
the end result was CARICOM's recommendation was for the Caribbean governments to treat cannabis just like how they treat alcohol and tobacco. That was the exact words of CARICOM. Treat cannabis the same way you treat alcohol and tobacco. So if that is CARICOM's recommendation, why are we at this point? Why are you trying to not just deal with it? Just like how, and this is the funny thing. They come and they talk about smoke. Here is it that in the same system, the same government that is trying to tell us about smoking cannabis in the public, there is no medical evidence that anybody has ever died from cannabis. However, there is medical evidence that people have died from tobacco. So much so, to the point that they used to put on the box, smoking is dangerous to your health. No.
Still is.
At this point now, they know it's not dangerous to your health anymore, you know? No, it is smoking kills.
Yes.
Cigarette smoking kills. They literally put it on the box and they are selling it in the stores. They are selling it in the stores and they ain't got a problem with that. But then, no medical evidence. As a matter of fact, medical evidence is showing that cannabis is very good as a medicine. So good that it has multi-purposes. Doctors are claiming that all of us have an endocannabinoid system. And when we use the cannabinoids that are in cannabis, they function like a Swiss knife because they can do almost, they fix things that you didn't even know need fixing inside the body. This is what the medical officials are saying. And yet, you were recommended to free up this thing. And because you have your personal issues and talking about smoking, and you are just trying to limit cannabis to smoking. And cannabis have so much more. So here's it, that is just one little area in relation to what you can do with this plant. And you want to not utilize the rest 99,000 things that the plant can do. You just want to zoom in on the smoking aspect. Well, if I am smoking in my private space or in a space that is not interfering with anybody, why is it that you want to have a problem with what I choose to do? And that is why you have freedom of rights, freedom of conscience rights, and freedom of privacy rights to do what you need to do in your private space and in your yard. So, as we talk about privacy and what you do in your yard, now, Bankie, while we're still on the cannabis, there's this issue right now that I think I need to give my little 2 cents on, and my view and my opinion on. And this is the area where now, in recent times, I am seeing the government putting up a lot of billboards talking about smoking in public areas and public places. Now, as
before you touch that, before you touch that, let me say this. Earlier, you mentioned the 3 things which is decriminalized: alcohol, tobacco, and cannabis. Let me say this. Most of the persons them who are using cannabis are them that they see because you're not seeing Yahsonn in the public, you're not seeing me up and down in the public and Main Street. They know who they must see. And they're using all this small little area to hold the whole country hostage. Everyone who listens to Son of Voice have people within their family who are everyday people function within the system, and they're having problem in our working through all kind of people don't even know they use cannabis. Though some drink tea, some use this, some use that. So you're telling me all in smoking grill when my table don't put up with all the barbecue grill, sports coming up Sunday, big sports. Then I think people who got asthma. Virgin, this thing is all about. So you're in your car, you in the privacy of your car, I smoke a cigarette, and all the years you buy the bar smoke a cigarette, it was not an issue. All of a sudden now, so a few young guys on 4th Street and in Charlestown, and you make the whole nation, young, respectful adults and older adults, pay for this because of few people. Really? You in the privacy of your car smoke a cigarette, you give me a ticket, $500, give me a ticket to smoke cigarette, tobacco. You understand? Other products. And drinking rum is what? But we now get ticket. Virgin, these are madness. And these are people who are just talking about who lead in our country. And because they don't like ganja. This is about ganja. And they're dragging all these vaping pens, tobacco products. You can't drive in your privacy of your car. It's smoke. When people all over the world are smoke cigarette in the car, and now you want to get locked up here, nervous and thinking to smoke cigarette in the old privacy of your car. I'm going on you to smoke a cigarette. For all the years we know myself, tourists are coming and want to bar, beach bars, all in the hotel to smoke cigarette. In 2026, because of ganja, the banning all. You cannot make up these things.
Hold on, you're right.
Let me add in this, because they have police who's supposed to be doing productive work, stationed down on the beach bars. Them right now, as we're speaking, the police down on the beach, just walking around with a ticket in the hand and going into people bars and watching you smoke, you go get them a ticket. And the beach bar owners, them have no issue. So they're going to shut down a lot of these businesses. What you see?
So hold on. So here's my challenge right now. I would love to get a report from any of the police stations that we have in the Federation that they have given any tickets to anybody who was smoking a cigarette
10.
or smoking a cigarette.
No, ganja. Just ganja.
Hold on. So that is my point. You see they could give the numbers for ganja? me tell you, me challenge
Yes.
them to give me the numbers for anybody that they charge for smoking cigarette in public, or cigar in public, or bead in public, or a vape pen in public. And that in itself would strengthen our arguments that we know that that law and the regulation that they're trying to enforce is really biased towards cannabis. No, don't get me wrong, Bankie. I am not, as a person, trying to advocate for smoking in public. That is not what I'm trying to advocate. What for me, here is where I have a
Yahsonn,
little.
Yahsonn. Let me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this. Smoking in public is nothing new. Okay? Let me make this clear. The hotels around and restaurants and beach bars been doing this, accepting this for years. Cigarette smoking. We knows that. Let me don't act as if like this is an issue now. The issue is ganja smoking. Let me
Yes,
keep it
but
like
hold
that.
on.
That way
So
be.
here's what I'm saying. That's what it was, and it was highlighted when they came out with because the first I remember when they came out and they addressed this smoking in public, it was only ganja they were focused on, because they were saying that they're gonna give a $500 ticket to anybody they caught smoking cannabis in the public. There was a pushback from the public where the public was saying, well, how come y'all being biased towards cannabis? They went back in the house and then they included all smoking things. And they said that no, they should have designated smoking areas. So here's where I have the problem, right? You're saying that you're going to give me a ticket for smoking in the public if I'm not in a designated smoking area. Have you identified designated smoking areas? Are there any designated smoking areas set aside by the public, or the public is totally against anybody who smoke in the public at all? Because if you're going to be ticketing me, you should be saying, hey, you should have been over in the corner over there, but you ain't over in the corner over there. You over here mixing up with the people. No, that's what I'm saying. If you had that set aside, because Bankie, a lot of businesses, as you say, in the
There
hotel,
are some
yeah,
areas, right,
they have smoke
where people go out
areas.
to party and all they do are drink and smoke in these these beach bars, and that's what people do go play beach bars for. Drink and smoke. Now are they causing it, who down on the beach not gonna probably no issue about no health, this issue and all the thing they them the party people. That's what we talk about. You see, down on the beach bar, people are chilling. They're not issue with no beat with no problem. But let me get this video played and come back to the discussion. We want to put in the video with the Ecclesiastic thing, and then we continue the discussion with this thing, and then we get in some text,
So
some of the
we could take
messages
a
them,
break
and we
right now
continue the conversation.
because we could take the break
Yes.
now too because it's 1 minute too. So
Time.
let's in
Okay,
terms
cool.
of take a break
Technician.
and then do the video and then we just roll in.
All right. All right, people. Thanks for yeah.
Did you know about the Rastafarian Recognition Act?
This new act gives Rastafari groups the right to register for free with the Ministry of Ecclesiastical and Faith-Based Affairs in order to access various tax and other concessions and to be licensed free of charge to participate in the medicinal cannabis industry. Registered Rastafari groups can also legally cultivate, harvest, dry, trim, cure, and possess and smoke cannabis as a sacrament for their upliftment or edification at their places of assembly.
Beat the summer heat. Come and get your carambola, star fruit, make very nice drink. You can come pick them yourself. All the trees them full of vitamin C, antioxidant, build up your immune system. Mine's the last stop. A whole shopping bag for only $10. Half a shopping bag you pay $5. If you get $2, you must get some. Come get your carambola. Don't want to go to waste. Let's go, people.
At Shabazz Organics, we believe real people deserve real food. So we're bringing you to Mansa's Last Stop, a farm where food barriers are removed and legacy is sustained. We believe there's power in picking, so we allow you to decide what leaves the farm and enters your kitchen organically.
When comfort, class, and reliability matter, choose the ride that delivers more. Imperial Rides Transportation Services, where every journey is treated like royalty. From airport transfers, private events, shopping trips, island tours, and executive travel, Imperial Rides moves you in style, clean, comfortable, on time, every time. Book your premium taxi or tour service today. Call or WhatsApp 869-665-8459 or email elandflavas@gmail.com. Imperial Rides Transportation Services. Your journey, our priority.
This Mother's Day, give her more than a meal. Give her the experience. On the Rocks.
This Mother's Day will be the 10th of May. You have a special going on the Rocks, so go out and support On the Rocks restaurant right there at Oli Beach. Definitely tell them you hear this on Everything Agriculture. Yes, and welcome back to the Everything Agriculture Show. We're here having general discussion on cannabis, food security. If you want to take part in this show, you can. Telephone number is 662-7196. Yahsonn?
Yeah, Bankie, I just gonna go back to where we left off before the break in relation to talking about the smoking in public places. Bankie, at this point we're getting closer to music festival. Next month is music festival. From what I understand,
I hear in the background. I hear talking myself.
Sorry,
You had a device
my
on?
My bad. Yes. My bad. I wasn't hearing the commercial here, so I was listening to it when it was being played. Yeah,
Okay.
my bad. Anyway, so I was saying, in relation to the smoking in public places, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have music festival coming up, and I was asking some questions, especially after I see that they would have started to put out these posters and so on in relation to smoking in public places. And I asked the question in relation to business places now who would want to have a smoking zone. Sorry, do they have to, if they apply, is there any way of them applying to get that smoking zone? They're telling me yes, but the whichever department is responsible for that is not. Then in this, similar to what was happening with the Ecclesiastic affairs, they're not ready to give you that. The only, and hear this funny part now, the only persons that would have gotten such a license, and it is only temporary, would have been music festival. So music festival would have gotten a temporary license to have that smoking zone for the 420 zone in the music festival. But listen to how terrible that sounds, because you can find a way to do it for yourself, but you can't do it for the people who have been suffering from this and who would love to be able to do this. You can't find a way to make sure that the business is so, which means, and this is part of what I have a problem with.
And then the police, the press conference telling you can walk with 5 spliff and walk with 1 lighter and not kind of nonsense.
Hold on. You don't have no designate. So the government itself has not set aside any designated smoking areas. The business people now who may want to do that, they can't get the license to do it because they ain't ready to do it. But they are ready to go around with a book to ticket you for doing that. So seemingly that you're just after making money. And if that is the case, this is allowed by people who could stop it, because you have the prime minister and so on who can say, hey, no. So then, which means the people who we are looking to be looking out for us are smartly punishing us and trying to tax us, because that is what is happening. And it's the same thing that's happening with people like you being dragged in front of the court for something that you're supposed to have your constitutional rights, where a judge don't tell them you're infringing upon Rastafari rights by even trying to do this. So, but you still defying all that and still trying to drag Rastafari in front of the court and still trying to discriminate Rastafari and harass Rastafari for cannabis and trying to find slick ways of trying to get at Rastafari, talking about you coming to search Rastafari for cannabis, but you want to add drugs and ammunition and control drugs because you want to use that as a means, because some you all use a scapegoat some time ago to say if you come saying that, then you can't be denied or you shouldn't be denied because you're using the guise of coming to look for guns and ammunition and illicit drugs. When you know to yourself a cannabis, you come go look for. And Rastafari and mix up in them things there. So why you want to try to do that, to still try to get at Rastafari for something that they have a constitutional rights to defend and to deal with? So you are showing still one breath the Prime Minister is saying, oh, we're the first to have recognized Rastafari, but in the same breath, you're still allowing Rastafari like Bankie and Jama, Elder Rastaman. Let me not even talk Bankie. Elder Rastaman, who would have contributed over 40 years of his life to agriculture and to the Ministry of Agriculture. Nobody no Jama.
Yes, man.
Nobody getting yourself into no problem. But you come in 2026 and trying to be free to harass Jama and try to lock up Jama and criminalize Jama and have Jama picture upon internet as criminal.
Yeah, but it's not just that alone in a Yahsonn. It's a treatment of how they treat the elderly. And I hear none of them, not one of them. They hear me spoke about it all the time. Can you speak about the ill treatment of how they treat Jama and how they try to treat me? Govia, Sergeant Govia, and all the rest, cronies, corrupt cops. That's what they are. You're in treating your citizens, your elderly, and nobody want to speak about it. But we not stop talking about it. Yes, let me take this call.
Yeah, definitely.
Carla, good evening. Hello.
Kevin,
yes, good evening.
Yeah, food insecurity is having access to food, like to satisfy, like sufficient human needs, like their needs, like having access to food, and food insecurity is not having access to food.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah, well, today I'm making a new month.
Yes.
I'm making it good. And good night, Yahsonn.
Yeah, man, greetings.
Yes, Yahsonn, so greetings. All right, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for calling. Yeah. And Yahsonn, here we have a teenager here in high school, understand the importance of food security because his grandmother worked in the agricultural sector for over 40 years. They should name a certain part of Hamilton and take up this nonsense Hamilton name off of Rosalind and other people who are productive within that area. We still have all these colonial names all over along the place. And not even, you understand, these are the madness. Here you have a young I guess he should be the take with Eric job. Mark can give Kevin Hanley his failure of a deputy because he spoke in a press conference when someone asked about Indian Castle, and he's speaking, well, when Bankie was there, Bankie was talking to the plants promoter. I understand, come in, listen it, come, we don't know what the premier going to say anyway, waste of time. And those, so which means he acknowledged the failure of his deputy, and his deputy Hanley's road, and got $1 million project gone to naught. Workers down there work every day for going on 3 years. Nothing come out of down there. And there is a manager down there, The chief extension officer is the manager Indian Castle, You hear anybody of the top supporter of this government saying anything about this?
Hold on. I yet to
it's today, I buy you, buy your buy with them guys buy you, and so was them asking me. But what them matter? Destroy your baby. Me say me destroy my baby, destroy you all food. You understand? Depot, because the people of St. Kitts Nevis food depot it is. Not destroy my baby. You understand? What me preserve is my uncle legacy at KSB. And mark the problem. I hear the commander in chief.
Hold on.
I hear having all this happen.
I want to address something that you mentioned earlier, because you say since some time ago nothing come from Indian Castle. But I listened. Hold on. I listened to Honorable Spencer Brand the other night on a talk show, and the Honorable Spencer Brand was challenging Naya that things were going down there, and he's going to take Naya down there to see that things are going down there, and that they would have harvested things from down there.
Well, we better malt. A malt. A vita malt. Or let's say a Marby. I forgot about the malt. I want a Marby. Man says last stop have a Marby, yeah? All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to make it our business. I'm going to take a ride on Indian Castle. And we're going to do a documentary of how Indian Castle is. And come back here and show, well, this is how Dung Days is. And Dung Days is in beautiful condition. And the trees are blooming. And you have at least a half acre of watermelon, some sorrel, some pumpkin, some squash, and some bananas that could be harvested, maybe 20 bunches. So these are what we're expecting to see, right? And about a half acre of cassava, and sugar canes. So these are what we expect to see when we go down there. We'll try to make it down there over this weekend here and videotape. And yes, and we'll say, well, yeah, man, Spence was right. We're seeing an acre of planting, it look like, and an acre of watermelon and some squash. And that is what we expect to see. Right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We'll see who a malt. I will expect to receive a malt. Well, forget about the malt. A Marby.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I know I must win. Guarantee.
You will win.
Guarantee.
Well, I'm going to for now hold on to the word of my minister, because my minister sounded very convincing. The Honorable Spencer Brand, he sounded very convincing. So convincing that Naya, who said he was down there a couple of months ago, was convinced that he needed to take another trip back down there. So
you're telling me, Mr. Brand, Mr. Brand, if it's one thing I know, or Mr. Brand have to realize, agriculture department work with receipts. Everything that is harvested must go through and must be weighed, So when he attack, not when you pick them and kill them home, they have to go through. You understand? The depot to be weighed, they have to go through agro-processing. Wherever you take them, whoever asks for them, they got to be weighed. And the information is channeled through clerical and then go upstairs to the PS office or over to the director office. So all my information is there. So let me see if any information is there for what the new agriculture. None. The workers was there in my case down there. None. Zero. Nada. Not one.
Yeah,
so what
they have, maybe they have new people working down there.
Of course. And what I mean,
we're gonna have to. So which means maybe new people on there doing new work that you don't know about.
Yes, and since I've left there, it's so much the articles came out about neglect of dogs, and the dog. You see all the articles came out of down there.
But
back to back.
Hold on. I've seen, Bankie, I've seen the reports and so on. However, like I'm saying, I heard the minister, and the minister was very convincing. So I don't want to go against the minister's words right now. I'm going to take up your challenge, and we're going to go and take the trip. You told me what we expect to see, and that's what I expect to see as well, based on what the minister said. And then we're going to be able to come back and report to the listening public what we discovered. We're going to be like Columbus. We're going to discover. So we're going to go, we're going to investigate, and we're going to discover. We're going to be like Columbus. We're going to discover. Whatever we discover, we're going to report.
All right.
But on a serious note, that is not serious either, because, like I said, though, really and truly, that's what I heard. And I mean, it really sounded convincing. Because, I mean, Naya was trying to say that nothing was going down there, nothing was harvested and so on, and he rebutted.
Definitely.
That is not so. And he actually offered to take Naya down.
Okay, this was agriculture 30th anniversary, and what we'd like to know, what came out of Indian Castle for the 30th anniversary? That will be a nice one. Out of the 30 years, and you have the largest estate. what came out of down there? What was there to be sold from Indian Castle?
That would be
Right?
another research. We would have to investigate that side of it too. So we're gonna get the video and then we're gonna see if we could get that information to back up in terms of any statistics to show that well these things were harvested from Indian Castle between
Yes.
last year and this year. Well, yeah. However, we figure it out. But yeah,
Yes.
Bankie
Getting some of the comments.
comments.
We are getting some of
Yes.
the comments. Yes.
Unfortunately, I only have right now the YouTube comments.
Okay.
So far, geothermal started. Valentino Maverick says geothermal started since Warner Park built 2006. Geothermal is in sinking since I born. I'm 60 plus right now. Right to the front of Brimstone Hill. Okay.
Okay, and
Okay.
there's a software, something there. There's a
Yeah, I
software. I'm
think
not
there's a software
in
or
that
something.
area.
Yes. So I guess if there's geothermal power in that area, to have that sort of power is one thing, but is the other part is now to harness it and to see if it is to the extent
But
where
if that
if
was the
harness
case,
it could
how
be.
come they're coming over to Nevis and deal with Nevis and
Well,
not exploring and sinking? At least Nevis have more. What that make no sense.
I don't remember how and why, because remember the geothermal would have been, I think, I stand to be corrected, but I don't know if it's under NRP that they started
Yeah.
um, introducing or
The,
trying to
the,
get. 'Cause remember, Nevis has autonomy over certain areas and energy. I'm not certain if energy is a federal. I don't think so. So I think Nevis would have had
mm-mm.
the, the
Whether
rights to
Nevis, then
explore
Nevis,
the possibility. So they
of
would have
course.
sought to explore geothermal. However, there was a point where I know that Syncits was saying that they were going to explore geothermal as well too. So I don't know if
Yes.
places like the same area that the person mentioned there, Valentino Maverick, would have been one such area that they would have, looked at. But what I was just trying to point out is that to have that sort of energy is one thing, but then you still have to test it to see if it is at the level, because you need a certain amount of heat as well in order for it to be explored to the point that it could harness to generate power. Carlisle Paris says, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Real Entertainment Network.
Yeah, give
Let
thanks.
us
Yes, sir.
farm what your own or our own. Enough respect, Carlisle.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And that gives me an opportunity as well to remind all of you who are on here with us at this point, it just take about 10 seconds. So while I'm reading the comments, by the time I'm done with the comments, everybody who is here should have already gone over to our YouTube platform, subscribe to the channel, like, and share so that other of your friends and so on could log in and be a part of the discourse. We definitely would appreciate you doing that. We're not asking you for money, we're not asking you for donation, we're just asking you to help us to build the platform by subscribing, liking it, sharing it, and click on the notification bell. John Doe S8W says, imagine having a problem with herb, but alcohol is rampant and destroying people.
Yes.
Mighty Servant says, a revolt ain't a revolution. I would encourage Rastafarians to boycott things like the 420 and the music festival when they claim they
Yes, sir.
designated areas for smoking. It's only a facade.
Yes. Right on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that is the comments that I have so far. I would probably have to get to the Facebook
Yes.
platform
Yeah.
to get some of that
Yes.
information.
What I would like to know, Yahsonn, is the consumption of alcohol intake, which we encourage on a daily basis, and we have no issue with this thing. I tell you, the two gentlemen, two preachers was on the Let's Talk, you pause again, and nothing was said about the number one and the number two, and many of these people, young guys who are using cannabis, they're adding tobacco, which is highly addictive. You want to say something, Yahsonn?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. So when you see a lot of people using a lot of these young smokers, and let me say this: For instance, we go to school 30 years ago. People use herb and way before us. In school and outside of school. So then they act like this is something new. You see? We acting like this is something new. This is nothing new. You see what I mean? This is nothing new. It's just now we're moving towards me sitting all how the government pushing it now. You still see the 1 and 2, but that is not an issue. They make it that this is the biggest issue, Virgin. If they're saying smoke is an issue.
I just said that, Bankie. Here is another point that, you know, like I keep saying, you know, they keep stringing on the argument that, oh, if you free it up, everybody is going to use it. Where is the empirical evidence to substantiate any such claims? Cabbage is legal, pumpkin is legal, tomato is legal. All of these crops that we eat are legal. Everybody planting them? So why is it that you want to feel that if you allow this other plant to be utilized by those who desire to use it, that automatically everybody is just going to use it? There's no evidence to substantiate that. And I'm using the example as a farmer that there's still a huge market for tomato and pumpkin and cabbage and lettuce and eggplant, and anybody could plant them. Anybody can go and plant them. So where is the evidence to substantiate that if you're supposed to allow this plant to be freed up and anybody could use it? As a matter of fact, evidence is there to show the opposite, because we have territories that have already legalized cannabis and decriminalized cannabis in some cases, and there's no evidence to show that there's been a huge uptake in people using
it's just
cannabis
emotions.
So,
it's just all emotions.
There's no evidence there to show this,
yes.
But yet still, these are the arguments that are being presented by our elected officials and people who we quote unquote supposed to be looking up to in our society. And then you have some of these same people who are seeking to use arguments that have been totally refuted, because like I'm saying, the issues that are being presented by the present AG and the Prime Minister in terms of why, I mean, even the money issue, we would have spoken to the people in St. Vincent and they have found ways of going around are dealing with the monies that they are going to get from the cannabis industry because they're exporting cannabis. We have Canada as perfect examples, who's a part of the Commonwealth as well. And they have been doing what they're doing successfully for a number of years. So why is it that, so these kind of fear-mongering tactics and so on that you want to put into the people because you want to...
Yahsonn, let me get in this call. If you go continue.
Yes, so we'll get to the caller. Good evening, caller.
Hold on.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, while Bankie
I think the caller got cut off. You got it, caller get cut off. Caller, can you call back, please? Sorry about that. God, Yahsonn, till the caller call back.
I mean, I'm just saying that,
okay.
You know.
All right.
Caller, okay, yeah, let me go back to the caller.
Caller, good evening. Sorry about that.
Good evening, Bankie.
Yes.
I'm listening to your conversation for some time now. I want to zero in from the bottom that you're discussing here.
Uh-huh.
I remember when Mr. Paris made a bold decision to allow young girls who get pregnant in school early to go back to school. There was an outcry against it because they were saying if you allow a girl to go back to school, get pregnant, you'll be encouraging all the other young girls to get pregnant. The thing is, the rate of pregnancy of schoolgirls has not gone up.
Yes.
The very same thing with when the decision was made for Rastafarian children to go to school here uncovered. They were arguing that that is going to encourage all of the young boys to lock up their hair. That has not gone up.
True.
The argument now that if they decriminalize marijuana, that everybody is going to smoke marijuana. There's no evidence to support that.
Of course not.
The evidence is there that more young people are using alcohol, at least in public,
Yes.
than using marijuana. Now, I am an individual. I do not support the smoking of marijuana, and I'm not going to tell other people that they should not smoke it. What I have known is that alcohol, rum, has caused more problems in our society than in our families than people who smoke either.
Very true.
I've been around Rastas since Watusi and Kwame came back in, I think, the 70s, and late 70s, early 80s. I have never seen a Rasta or anybody who used marijuana go home, beat up on their wives and their children and kick off part of a stone. I've never seen that. I have never seen a person who used marijuana go and fight with others and fight people. I said people who use rum do that. Now, if they could legalize rum legalized out there, it could create so much havoc. And ganja is not creating any havoc. Then why are you pressurizing people with this? Now here's another thing. There are some people cannot eat peanut. If they eat peanut, they get sick.
Yes.
But because somebody gets sick with using peanut, they don't ban peanut. But somebody who uses marijuana and they get sick, you're saying ban the marijuana because 1 or 2 person get sick. Who use marijuana and use marijuana, it's pure marijuana, but they mix it up.
True.
The inconsistency here is too vague. Well, not vague. It's too blatant. That there is a target and backs not so much of marijuana, but Rastas, because Rastas are the main users of this thing. Rastas have been targeted. Why? You are not violent. You are not have records. Now, who wants to smoke? I believe that there should be somebody that they could go because I get annoyed when I am in this and people come stand up next to me smoking marijuana. I do not smoke it. And I don't think nobody should invade my space to come where I am, seated or standing or transacting business and blame any smoke on me. I don't believe in it. However, the legislation that came out with my Prime Minister saying that no young person should have been given a criminal record for smoking marijuana. And seeing now that they have gone as backward and persecuting people for the same marijuana, something is wrong. It has misled you guys, sending you up in a utopia, making you all believe that there would have been some level of freedom. But now they have walked it all back. That is absolutely unjust. And like I said, I smoke it. I do not believe in smoking. I will say nobody should smoke. But whoever wants to smoke, that is their business. But there is no scientific proof out there that can categorically say that using just marijuana, not mixing it with nothing else, cause any harm to anybody. There are some doctors in the United States who are saying that have since changed after they began to do their scientific studies and said nothing wrong with it. Why are we still prosecuting people for using that thing for themselves, whether it's for recreational, whether it's for worship, as we're talking about? Why are you prosecuting people? I think it's time enough to stop. And if you're going to prosecute Rastas for using marijuana and prosecute marijuana, they should also prosecute rum and cigarette. Because rum and cigarette is worse than marijuana. That's why I need a 2 cents piece or something.
Thank you, Carla. Greatly appreciated. Yahsonn, let me piggyback off what the caller said. What is happening here is human rights issues, my brethren. And then when you have people inside Ecclesiastic, ministers, PS, let me get back to that. Let me take this call and we'll get back to that. Caller, good evening. Hello? Hello? Caller? I'm not sure if this caller want to get in, Yahsonn. Hello? Okay. Well, I couldn't. What I'm saying here, Yahsonn, you have Jeffrey Hanley, his office, the PSs, they never spoke on cannabis. So it know I was so no was signing up on all these certificates when them against it. Well, if they don't want it, move it from under there. That's all it is. Just put it over this in St. Vincent, it's under the Medicinal Cannabis Authority. Simple as that. So if Eric don't want it, call him a failure. This is proof. This is failure. And Jeffrey Hanley and his whole ministry and his PS and everybody up there. This is failure and Eric Evelyn and the whole cabinet and the NIA because the premier, me know you do the premier work and Eric working on Jeffrey Hanley working on, along with those, the viewers and the whole society in St. Kitts Nevis and the outside world who supporting Jama and myself, you know. That's what happening here, you know. And then showing the support for Nobi and Wendon, you know. Is the people that making this thing, making this ad where the office is open up and functioning now, you know. But yet they still a style the process. They don't want to say paper finish and this finish and that finish. The farming the fool. Okay? I will not tolerate this. I don't want to come here and speak about this office and speak about nothing negative about cannabis. I want the way to go forward because I, for one, don't care about no certificate. I just want, just what I told the young lady, Mrs. Brown, I don't care for it. I just want to know the office is functioning and those who want the certificate, give them the certificate. Because I not come here about a whole secret for nobody in a virgin. Because I don't like Rasta. I show the see I still promote me on the Mango Festival, right? I made them promote, right? But I'm still a criminal. I'm not an idiot, you know. I'm not an idiot. So those who listen to the sound of my voice, they're supposed to know me not a fool. You see what I mean? So you can't in one breath criminalize me and one breath want to use me as the model for Nevis. Me not get paid for that. They use me picture up on the place as like it's the best thing ever. Me not get paid for these things, you know. So I hope people don't think me get paid for it. They might use me face to promote me out there in the outside world. So they think me an idiot. So I love to observe these things and observe these things in the virgin. And so they behave and take the smart and God, you know. Because all I keep saying, time is longer than twine. You see what I mean? So I don't worry myself about things. I don't live my life, you know. What me live for now is for me when me get me grand and me last youth to then because me last youth to 6. So ain't no way those who in authority think I gonna stay quiet and I infringe on my rights. Now go work. I rather be under the ground and be a free man than to be in a road and being a puppet or a slave. It now go work. So in the sense I send nobody to call me phone and come around me car. Come in a road man says last stop, if it is no lighter in and police ain't allowed neither, let it be known. You either spending or you leaving. Because it ain't no light. Man stop Shabazar in that for lighters and waste of time, people. You come in good company. If you come into cause confusion, don't come because it's a lifetime ban. That is how the environment is. It's a lifetime ban. Okay? The man says last stop, it's always been a friendly environment. And for people can come sit and have good conversation and not for people who come and in a kind of thing there. No police allowed. No nosy people. No people who can come up. Now go walk. Okay? So get that out there. Yeah, the simple as that. You know, later when you're spending, I keep moving. Simple as that. If you're in a fall, then you can get shit. But outside of that, if you're not spending, don't come around. You don't. It's not needed. Who gonna come and support? So what I'm saying here, Yahsonn, me custom, me build tough. So I'm not begging from no government when it come to work. I'm a farmer. I'm gonna ask for food to sell. Me ain't one of them gonna complain. Me till me plant every day. Me don't got tomato or flower. Got on tomato, me plant my tomato again. Me got season paper, me plant my season paper again. Me got banana, me go harvest 5 bunch of banana tomatoes. Me got things you harvest. So what they need to focus on. Plant food for save the people in camp. I'm going to be away. Yes, let me take this call here. Say the person ready. Caller, good evening. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. We're talking agriculture, Bankie, and you are one of the leading faces of agriculture in Egypt. I want to get back down to the fruit orchard that was on this road.
Yes.
Let me confess that I've never visited the area. I don't know where it is, and I was not there, never been there.
Yes.
But I've seen pictures from down there when you were down there running this orchard. I understood that there were over $1 million spent on developing up that orchard.
Yes.
We were promised that we would be sending coconut down to Station because down the mill producing it and producing a whole lot of stuff.
Well, you have nothing to do with station, you know. You have to do with the importation of all the coconuts, and the young men and them who are having a business can have cheaper jelly to buy from the government instead of be importing all this stuff. It comes in after the film, you have a chip down there.
That is true. It was not for that, but because
yes.
The farmers, it never promoting it as it's a place that will be so great that will be exporting coconut.
But if you not going down there, the coconut them are nothing on the trees them. If coconut not get water, they're gonna take care of. The female no better, the female attack hot ear. That's the whole point. Anybody could go down Indian cast the same. The female mentioned that about station, same bats or wherever need plenty jelly. He know nothing down there, he know jelly to them again that boat. He know that, you know.
So you are saying to me that all of the money that was spent on developing up that farm and all the promises that were made, that the farm will be a productive farm and it will be a great change in Nevis.
Monday's a holiday, you know. Anyone can drive down there, you know, over the weekend from tomorrow, drive down there, take a look for themselves and come back and call in and report, you know. I challenge everyone who listening to the show this evening, who have the time, to just take a drive down there as an excursion with the family and just what's going on down there. Mondays, you see what I mean? And then come back and report to us also. What is sick? We're going down there, you know, so we need others to go down there go see too. Make that event excursion.
Allow me to take a little further.
Yes.
There was another piece of land to extend the food orchard.
Yes.
Facts are obvious that roughly $1 million was spent for clearing that other part of that. The premier, in his own words, says that they will spend $406,000, I think, and counting.
Yes.
He didn't say that, and counting.
Yes.
To clear up that other section of land to expand the food orchard.
True.
I am asking you, has anything been done on that land that was cleared?
Of course. Yeah, man. Plenty acacia trees and barricade and a lot of stuff is down there growing and to be harvested. A lot of acacia and a lot of shrubs and stuff and some dry grass and different stuff along with the shrubs that have been for the years gone by. So if you're into...
So you're telling me,
yeah.
Let's forget, you're telling me, having spent, according to the premier, $406,000 to clean up that, you're telling me that it's back in the same condition it was before they clean it?
And worse, because if you're going to clean a land, remember, if you're going to clean a land, and the land have larger trees, and underneath those smaller trees, a lot of the seed will be suppressed. When you clean that area now, seed that was dormant will also start to germinate. That's what when I encourage anyone to clean any property. If you're not ready to clean a land and fence it and prepare it, don't waste your time because you're not smarter than nature, you know. Mother Nature will show you who is in charge. So all who think they like to clean land and leave it alone, you'll see how nature show you what time it is.
$406,000 of what taxpayers' money is wasted.
Well, remember that is not the final. Remember the premier said that is not the final count, you know. That was just a number given of one check. The last check or whatever check was given, that the amount is. He never said that was the final count, so we still don't know what the final count is.
There were some trees that were planted. I think the premier went on a time before a tree. I was boasting about are those trees alive?
Which one?
Down at New River. I think they went on the river to replant a couple of coconut trees.
In New River?
Yeah, in the New River area.
Well, it's in New River area. I mean, the coconut trees that in New River was planted years before those at Indian Castle. What is over at New River is a second set of coconut trees that are planted again because what was there had died. So they had to replace a lot of those trees. But that area have since been neglected over and over and over. All the same way. Because those same coconut trees at Indian Castle, at New River, they wanted me to dig them out and take them at Indian Castle, you know. Yeah. Because, me show you the madness. That's how bad it was. Wanted me to take them until I'm not, me not do that. That ain't going to happen. Because the people out there working Virgin, so how people out there work and get paid, and me must go do their work. So me must do everybody work. And those up on the other side of the road above towards where the full pen is, yes, and above on the other side, we're going up, you know, where those coconut trees will be fruit. They've been there from since way back in the early 90s. Those still they're fruiting, but nobody had not been maintained. So the minimum coconut is on them. So it's just all neglect. Just all neglect. But go ahead, Carla.
I'm going to ask you a final question. You ready for the final question?
Me as ready, you know, because not any hard question, you know.
Okay.
Me as ready, so, anything, yeah.
The present Minister of Agriculture.
Uh-huh.
Does he have the capacity, or do he have the capacity to make agriculture viable or productive, having had some experience working around the industry for some time? What do you think about him? Because you've been around him. How could he managing developing plans to push agriculture forward?
Well, every time this question has been asked about Indian Castle, about the minister, the premier, already make it clear, you know? If you're going to denounce Indian Castle in a bad state, it's saying his deputy is the failure. So the premier already answered this question over and over, even with the last press conference. Because it is the deputy in charge. That's why you see this box up with the premier. The premier know his deputy is a failure. He have no love for agriculture. The evidence is there, Virgin. It's right there. I mean, you're going to neglect agriculture and then you invest in all this money inside culture Rama 50. And what? Agriculture is just there. These guys ain't serious. Mr. Is the premier, is the minister of agriculture for me, you know? So I hear the problem. Me don't forget about Mr. Evelyn long time, you know, because that's a waste of time right there, you know? Because you could see.
Agriculture is dying under Minister Evelyn.
No, it died under the premier because the premier watching all this happen and the cabinet. So me not accept that. And the premier the problem.
The premier allowing
Bankie,
well, yeah.
put the phone closer to the mic. Put the phone closer to the mic.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yahsonn, I want to thank that caller, but we are going to realize if you have a minister of feeling, you just shift and move him to a different portfolio, because he did that with Troy Liebert, from moving from under, you understand, and put him in education. So why he failed to move his deputy, who is failing so bad? He moved Troy and put him in education. Troy is, we call it there, a civil engineer, but in education, within education.
Bankie, two things. One, if you were to look at the present cabinet, if Mr. Evelyn, who is the only person I think have a little experience in relation to agriculture because he was a PRO.
Jefferson had none, and he did. Mr. Jefferson had no experience in agriculture, and he did great. He was the best minister of agriculture. So,
okay, so
what experience are you talking about? Trust your technocrat. Listen to your technocrat.
Wait, no man, that's
yes.
One, if they're supposed to move which one of the other ministers do you think would take up that responsibility? And two, based on how they deal with agriculture, because you know, how the system set up. If there's a minister right now who in government and a person, let's not even go to this as far as the minister, a person who is not playing their role in a ministry, usually they send them to agriculture as a form of punishment. So if you're supposed to move Mr. Evelyn and put another minister, that minister might be taking it as is punishing me to send me there.
Premier, he's the commander in chief. No, the premier have to take it up. Anybody is going to take it up. Food is the most important thing in a virgin. And the premier or the prime minister should always have agriculture under the portfolio. That's it. Ain't nothing more important than food, virgin. Nothing. Nothing. Every ministry within the civil service have professional people inside there. They don't need to have. It is okay if the minister of agriculture have some experience, which is fine, some training. But most of the time when these ministers have all this training, they don't listen to the technocrats, because then everything. So it's them with them. You see what I mean? When they're supposed to be listening, they can have ideas, but then you got to listen to your technocrats. You can't everything. It's a collective effort. And that is why things don't work. Indian Castle was a success, because it's not my ideas, It's Woody's, it's George, was Amina, was Sister, was everybody idea. Gaza, we all come together, the painting of the building, everything. I don't make no decision on my own. They all have the field. We have the meetings, we have the safety meeting, and we come together, we have the group chat, and information is sent, and we get along like that. We don't, and that's it. They all want to know from the film to everybody, well, how may I get this work? But you're going to treat people with respect. You're going to speak to people properly, give them the right tools to work with, and trust your workers. Make them be a part of things. We manage and instill fear in people, and then want people and talk down to people, and then want people to speak back to you in a different way. But if you come to me with a negative energy, you will either ignore you or you give back the same energy. And most people give back the same energy too. Because they were taught to instill fear, and or going to send you home, or going to send you home if you don't listen. That's all they're going to tell you. Just fear tactic. I don't manage like that. I treat people with respect, because one, you will treat others as you want to be treated. Ask anyone who come under my care. I set rules. I stick to the rules. Can me follow the rule? Can me lead the work? So if me rules, somebody take to break the rules. If you're in a bad mood, you wake up in a bad mood and say, boy, I'm going to feel good. When I show up to work, me going to pay you. Okay, if you come to work and encourage any negativity to the other workers, you're going to send you home for 2 weeks. Because you know the rule is. It is simple as that. It's like my children, they don't listen to me. And you go to school. Well, if you're not going to school, banking in a school, and you're going to go work. Coming up probably get in a school, ain't it? So big in a school, you know, you go work, and you pay the bills, and you cook, because you since you're the child. Well, we reverse that's all it is. Because when they go to work for this plantation or for a season, and they run all this Caucasian company, and down a rams, they're there. Even an hour before the time to go work, they go slave. When they go work for the government, they in the time to reach go work, and then the time when to go home and nothing. No accountability. And that's the problem right there. So that is why 80% to 90% of $1 spent in government is waste, stolen, because of this kind of stuff. Indian Castle was done. You hear anything about the Indian Castle, somebody buy Bankie sweetie, a lollipop, or buy a malt, Marby? Nope. I make sure and tell the peers, make sure these truckmen, the small businesses, make sure the bills are being paid when they're selling their stuff. And the bigger ones, they're not going to roll it down. You take it and give something amount them, whatever. Smooth sailing, right? Successful project, right? So all the other projects can be like this. Because I was told I'm making the system look better. You see? Because they don't want that. Maybe I was like, but by what you're going to put an extra 10 load in on the extra 10 load of mine. No. When I want to in the truck, I put in gas. So I want an extra 10 load or 5 load for 1 load for. I in that. So to each his own, and that's all I say about that. Yahsonn, accountability is if we're going to move forward. And these elections coming up should be about accountability stacking. Okay? You can't convince me to give a 2,400 acres of land because you want to put on an area where, so which land is earmarked for agriculture in the future? Where? Which land is earmarked for agriculture? There's a poultry project coming up. Where the land then going? We don't get the land for the poultry. Did they say any place that the land is allocated for the same poultry project? They up there fight the bill. Tell me the land there. Nobody could come and say with the land there. Neither the director, neither the deputy, neither the PS, neither the premier, neither his failure deputy. They can't say so. They can't say so. This is the reality. We are not serious, my virgin. We are not serious. Until farmers have access to funding, fisher folks, those in agro-processing, real funding too, without a year, 2 years grace period before you start pay back any kind, and minimum 1% interest, and the rest is 0% interest, because all these big entities are getting with money interest free, and are kind of write millions right off. So why we the people, the native, accepting this kind of crap from our leaders? Why we accepting it? Why we accepting it? We will be sheep. We bang you cut your throat and you're quiet. Well, who wants to quiet and take that about the business? You know, me not take that about, you know. All those cars, you see, Yahsonn, you just need enough people to speak up, you know, my virgin. And enough people are speaking up, and it shows. That's why you see the Ecclesiastic. Once we support each other, unity is strength, you know. You do not need everybody, because everybody will not support. Even when you're fighting for them. You see, me I fight for them, you know, and they fight against me. Which is, I embrace it because I expect these things to happen. But we just need enough, and enough is there supporting it. That's why it's going to work. That's why real entertainment working. Because enough people is supporting real entertainment. That's what it's all about. They're supporting the cause because they know what we are here speaking is what is the right is about is yes.
Speaking about supporting the cause, I think I'll take this time to encourage folks who are listening at this point to, in an effort to support us even more, go on over to our YouTube platform, take a minute, go on over to the YouTube platform, click on the subscription button, like,
yes,
share, and click on the notification bell so that you're notified every time we have a program. I want to take this time to encourage those who are in. We got a couple more minutes if you want to call in to be a part of the program. The number is 662-7196. That's 1-869-662-7196. And that's the number for you to call in if you want to be a part and make your contribution via call. I'm going to read in some of the comments while we get back to the next caller and our listener. We have John Allen saying, I can't wait to see the renovations, poetry. Night sounds amazing. John Allen says, good evening from Atlanta. I love the sunset picture. Annette Morton says, good evening to all. John Allen says, I did like the Heritage Village tour, and it was awesome. John Allen says, the views from that spot are beautiful. Ruthlyn Hill says, good blessed night from Florida. John Allen says, Tabasco sauce. Yes, Tabasco pepper sauce, John Allen. Kevin Hanley says, good evening. Ounce says, greetings, kings. John Allen says, the bet is on. I guess she's talking about the bet for the Marby.
Yes.
Back over to the YouTube. John Doe S8W says alcohol is free to drink and everybody doesn't drink it. Some actually despises it. And I guess that was in relation to the comment when we were saying that there's no evidence to substantiate the claims are that hysteria that they're trying to put on people, that if you're supposed to free up cannabis, that one day everybody is just going to smoke it. And I love the points too that the caller calling and made in relation to, you know, Rastas in school and children who get pregnant in school and all of those examples and so on. They were very good examples to add to the point that we were trying to make, that these kind of fears about if you free up the cannabis, a plant. I mean, like, what could be so terrible about that plant? I mean, manganil is much more dangerous than cannabis, and nobody's making a big issue about manganil.
And then plant it at the back of your house in a corner where a young child can see it and all this dumb crap.
If you pick manganil, can manganil look like a guava, you know, I mean, a fruit, you know, and these things are much more dangerous than cannabis, and nobody put in a wide, you know what I mean, bulletin board out. They say, oh, if you see a manganium tree, don't go close to it. It's dangerous. Anyway, so Jando S8W says, smoking and drinking is a choice. So saying if herb is legalized and everyone will smoke, it is a tactic being used to not legalizing it. I smoke herb for 3 decades and nothing happened to me. Okay, so that's evidence right there. Real Entertainment Network, okay, hit the thumbs up button and show Yahsonn and Bankie some support. It helps the algorithm. Ruth Stapleton says, I'm with you, my brother. And these are some of the comments. And remember, folks, the number to call in if you want to be a part of the program. We still got a couple more minutes. If you want to make your contribution to the discourse or to the discussion, the number to call is 1-869-662-7196. That's 1-869-662-7196. We try as much as possible to, read the comments from all those who engage on the platforms and or call in, because you are also a very vital part of the show. So we want to ensure that, your contribution is recognized. I'm saying this because sometimes, depending on our guests and depending on the engagement in the conversations, sometimes we don't get around to, get into all of the comments, but generally we usually try our best to, as much as possible. So now we got a little time and we don't have a guest and it's just us. We're trying to, as much as possible, put in all of the comments and or give you as much opportunity to call in, because sometimes when we do have a guest, we don't have that kind of luxury, because we want, as much as possible, give the guests an opportunity to speak. And also, if we do have questions for them, we would want to get in as much of our questions. And so we want to take this time to thank all of you and hope that all who are logged in by the end of this live, that all of you who have been a part of the discourse is officially subscribed to our YouTube platform. So go on over on YouTube, look for Real Entertainment Network, click on the subscribe button, like and share the platform, and click on the notification bell. So every time we are on the platform, you would be notified. So I want to thank all of you so far who have been with us and, who are enjoying the discourse and or being informed, educated, and or really, want to engage, because there's some who may want to engage, but we will speak on behalf of you as well. We speak on behalf of you as well, and we don't mind. We don't mind that at all, because somebody have to do it. So right now, before we end, Bankie, I know you say what they're gonna say now, but I would love to hear from Honorable Jeffrey Hanley and tell us why you have been dragging your foot for all these years and not.
It is a late moment, Virgin. Really? What are you gonna say?
And I would hear from Honorable Eric Evelyn too. The people in Navy should want it, because you guys are paying this minister. And like the way I look at it, Bankie, if this is a part of your portfolio,
Boy, the man
you
promote culture, man. We talk about this
and you have not done anything. Well, why should we be paying you? Why should we, the taxpayers, pay you to address something for us which you are not doing? And we don't. And these are some of the problems that we have, because we don't have the right now to tell whoever not to pay these guys because they are not performing. But it's obvious that they're not performing. And I would have listened to the Prime Minister the other day. They were having some town hall meeting or something for Jeffrey Hanley in his constituency and so on. And they're talking about Jeffrey is the most active minister, and Jeffrey, all this. But as far as I am concerned, where cannabis is concerned, Jeffrey is a failure. The Honorable Jeffrey Hanley is a failure where spiritual cannabis is concerned and the freedom of conscience is concerned, because it has been more than 5 years that it is under his portfolio. Well, let me not say more than 5 years, because I don't know how long it has been under his portfolio, but I know it's a couple of years that it has been under his portfolio, and he has done absolutely nothing, not even a speech. We have never heard, I'm sure that the people who are hearing us now would have never known that the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley has anything to do with cannabis at all. They would think that it's only the Ministry of Agriculture. However, people, the Ministry of Agriculture is, and that's the Ministry of Agriculture and St. Kitts, is only responsible for medicinal cannabis. I say St. Kitts because the Minister of Agriculture in Nevis is absolutely not saying anything or doing anything where cannabis is concerned. Nevisians, I have a problem with this, and maybe this is why things happening in Nevis, it's not happening in St. Kitts, because they know that y'all only like sheep, docile. Y'all take whatever it is going to the slaughter, because Kittitians nah rampant them down there like that. So the ease up of the people in Kitts, and then the police harassing people in Nevis, and then you have the minister who is not even saying anything about it. I mean, Jama. I would have thought that even Jama, even if you want to talk about Bankie, seeing that Jama was a member of the agricultural sector for so much years, I've never heard anybody, apart from the premier, making a comment in someone town hall meeting or whatever in relation to Jama saying he see a picture of this old man from Jindal and all that.
The man is a farmer.
And you see how he tried to phrase it in his way, right?
Of course, the man is a farmer.
He spoke of it, but the fact is,
this man
Jama would have made his country, and would have make it sound like it's a past.
Yes. Still,
he has been and still is making his contribution. He's not a part of the Ministry of Agriculture anymore, but he's a prominent farmer who, in relation to food security, is one of the most successful persons in relation to
over
food
50
security.
years.
I say that because it's every day Jama stall open from Sunday to Sunday. Sunday when you are home and you are taking your day off, Jama stall set up, and you always could get something off of the stall. You wouldn't have everything all the time, because some things in season, but you're gonna always get something from Jama stall. And here you have somebody. So even if you wanted to fight him for some, here you're saying you have a problem with food security, and you have somebody, and now I have to bring you in as well, because you are another person. It's like in Nevis, it's 2 places where you could get food every day.
I don't close 7 days a week.
Mansa's last stop, and that's on the other side of the country. And then you have Jama now on the other side of the country taking care of the people on the other side of the country who need food every day. Yes. And the police know that that's a fact.
Of course. Yes.
The politicians know that that's a fact. And they also know as a fact that Rastafari have constitutional rights. And apart from being farmers, you all are Rastafari. And they still opt to come and want to harass you guys, embarrass you guys, and try to criminalize you guys. People in the Federation, we ain't playing politics. This ain't gonna do no partisan politics. Because if NRP was in and that happened, I would have got the same opinion. If another party named PLQRST was in there, I would have got the same view and opinion. So this ain't gonna to do in a partisan politics. And I want people to well, you don't got to understand it, but I just want to put it out there. Because you don't have to understand it. You are supposed to know when it comes to Rastafari, we not support them system. We not under the King Charles system. And that's why they were getting rid of Leonard Howell in Jamaica. Because Leonard Howell were telling them, I say we are deal with the king of Ethiopia. That's a we king. How you hold on to our king and why you deal with? We not in that.
Yahsonn, let me say this. I'm at this point, because I know that people are in the emotion, a lot of people are aware, a lot of G-string and all kind of things stick up in the them and all kind of something. At this point in life, I really don't care if they hire me and ask me to the Mango Festival, because I don't say everything I sing sideways, because the universe will show me things way ahead before it even happen, because I could get my own Mango Festival and my own farm every day, so then I do me nothing. You understand? But the way forward, if they're going to be using my pictures and being professionals, we're going to have to start discuss prices. Otherwise, nobody use my picture. Because me what you see how them move, because them move sideways already, I mean, now will let anybody cut me short and think me going to entertain it. So me let the tourism department know. If they ain't dealing in a professional level, don't become kind of my phone and take me playing with her, you know. Because me don't see I move sideways. Because me don't see the game back over by some over by the big keep the last Mango Festival. We were now gonna change the name to Shaska, cause he they mentioned it, you know. Over where they keep the last place where the Chills Indians them have a new place named Shaska. And you should, and I hope the people should ask them we are the when they say they're gonna keep it and they change their mind, whatever reason it is, keep it professional. Cause me will speak, you know, and continue to speak. I'm in a hush, you know. So who I want in the feelings that I business, you know. But remember, if I gonna use my picture anyway for the way forward, and I use me and use me to use to make I look good, take it down, you know. Say in the future, if I use me now, going forward, don't be use my picture to promote nothing, and I have no good intentions, you know. Cause me now butt up with none of you inside the tourism. And the minister is in charge, and the premier is in charge of tourism. So if you see you and all them who inside the space, whoever inside there, I play sideways. Well, me not play sideways, me play straight, hardball. Me not butt up things. Me ain't one of them who I could hush up. And nobody gonna use in child. So if I ain't a good intention, no use me picture to promote nothing. If I ain't use me to promote, I have take part in our Mango Festival. Me tell you straight up how it is. Cause me gonna survive. You all figure out how I figure out how I think, but nobody gonna use me. Okay? That I'm going to say. Remember, folks, I appreciate you guys tuning in. But remember, tomorrow at Mansell's Last Stop, come and get your caramel and fish, your caramel and oxtail, caramel and chicken, your fish and oxtail, your fish and rice, your pies, your salad, your marby. Just ask. You want to chill and the best place to chill and watch the sunset, the best place to chill and watch the vehicles pass and good conversation. The restaurant is on the farm. Once you're on the farm, if you want a little store, whatever, that's what it's all about. We appreciate you guys coming out. Want to big up Amanis, the chef, Aisha, who come out and help out. And Saturdays, big up yourself, Aisha, and also Tasha, who is over in Philly, who holding on the fort. Appreciate you guys. And with that, we're going to keep your father legacy alive. That never stop. Once we're around, we're working together. And it's how the transformation is passing. People seeing how everything is transforming and coming together, and they love it. Shortly, we're trying to work and make sure everything is open by the first week in June, where we have the smoothies and the bars up and running. And as I say, no lighter rain, no police allowed. So let all the police say, I ain't allowed. And if you don't come. If you come buy a drink and leave, we don't want you to sit around and waste no time. Keep it moving. And the police around. We want people to be comfortable and wherever. Hang out the police, hang out in our barracks. Can I hang out? Don't you? Man says last time that a place for police to come and hang out. No. Hang out in our barracks. I have to remember, you know, when I don't infiltrate the civilians and I done with the force, I have to come up in the same community and nobody want to hire on them. So you see how left to go? You're twice of a civilian when you're police. You understand? So, yes, and we really got to get serious when it comes to agriculture and when it comes to this way of cannabis and when they were forward, because I'm still in awe which way we going. Okay? I already seen the Chinese man now going to get into farming. If you see a cackle long part, you realize this is a greenhouse going up when you guys going up cackle long part. So I see what's happening. So in the hotel, we're going to start planting food too. Because you see the kind of greenhouse and go down and a few of them going down. So farmers, you are into some serious challenges when it comes to planting food. Because this is what's going to happen in a virgin. Only thing going to be selling because a recession going to come down right now. And it's what Trump and them doing, fighting Cuba. And our people here who benefit from Cuba can't talk. They are silent. They're just going to accept. They're not defend Cuba. You see? So we are really into a serious thing when it comes to food. Everything going to go up. Every day people complain about the cost of gas and they have to put in gas every day and whoever car is that's not pay for the light. So what stimulus are the government in Nevis and things going to put into the economy to help the people and them? Can having all these duty free and all these bad things and people are going to money to spend, the money go spend, you know? Because I see the last bad day that happened here. People want tangible. You have to give stimulus package. You have a lot of money. This is the reality. And not a double salary. Money where every citizen benefit that is tangible. And real money too. Because I give it kind of millions to all these hoteliers down here. But we the poor people now feel it. But folks, next week, Tuesday, on the topics, we're going to have our guest, a young lady. Okay, mix it up on him. Yahsonn, walk with me. We're going to be speaking about social security. So we're going to have a guest. Let me look for the name. We can't talk to the person properly yet. Yahsonn, go ahead. Let me get this thing right.
Yeah, well, as Bankie get that together, what I'll do probably just get in the last set of comments on the various platforms and give my little closing. So John, sorry, okay, this is somebody who's different. So okay, so this is Alia Douglas saying, "Bless up, keep up the great works." We have Ruth Stapleton says, "I'm with you, my brother." Ruth Stapleton says, "Let's promise them on election day." Ruth Stapleton says, "No respect from the premier." And she says, "That's right, Nevis belongs to all of we." So that's those on the wall. I want to thank Bankie for
Okay.
another
All right.
opportunity to be here with
Yes, I
us.
got it. Yeah, I got it. Go ahead. I me go ahead.
I do the name, yeah, and then
Yeah,
I'll just
next Tuesday, we have a young lady from, she's the corporate communication manager at Social Security Board, Miss Camilla Lawrence. Yes, got to make sure I pronounce the young lady name right. Definitely looking forward for that reasoning where we speak about Social Security reform and where we're at this point. If we're going to raise the age at the same that the federal government is on this, and I'm not sure if they're going to have a lot more community town hall meeting when it comes to engaging general public if when it comes to raising the age of social security. So you see where we are heading right now and what are the leading factors where we're at this point and how if these changes don't happen, what will happen and how we're going to affect the people, the citizens and all this different stuff. So definitely looking forward for this engagement. And then the following Tuesday, the 12th, I want you guys to research this with this name, Professor James Small. He was Malcolm X's personal bodyguard, right-hand man. Very intellectual professor. He was also the E-man in the December 12th movement with, Kwame Nkrumah, and he's been around everybody, John Henry Clark, Asa Illard. We're talking about the real deal. You've seen many videos of this gentleman all over. So we're going to take this thing where we can. We really need a lot of in-depth when it comes to knowing who we are as a people, so I'm reaching out to some of these elder teachers like Enfidisiki, Jahutimos and others and stuff like that to get us away in a spiritual awakening because we really need to get some different information and away from this politics and listen to these guys speak on the importance of agriculture and skilled trades and of African spirituality. Because we've really lost ourselves and we've been brainwashed and been bamboozled in all these politics. And we see a lot of these religious churches around here not coming out in defense of human rights issues. And they speak about ganja, and they not talk about how the German was treated. And then no cow speak about it. So why they feel to speak about me? You don't have a man lock up and you still ill-treat a man, virgin, over some ganja plant. These are the reality. So this is why we now hush because the governor and his bad boy police, Shane and all the rest of them, because that's what they be. Bad boy police. We don't know anybody call the name, I come harass me. So me have a right to call her a name. Okay? All of them. I want the news reporters to go over by Cotton Ground police station and see the condition of the cell and them. See how in the day. Or they not do that. But how can the premier and the whole cabinet take a trip over there? And then from Singapore come over to see the condition of the police station and have a beating. So why didn't they start to keep meeting the community to make sure there's a better relationship between the police and the community? The community don't trust the police and them because of the ways how they're going on. Well, they keep passing Mansell's last stop because the police are loud. So there's no reason for them to come back there. Okay? Because that's all it is. Because I always stand on my rights. And they knows that. And they're going to work hard higher too, all time. Whenever I stop, I work hard, you know. And people always work hard police and interact with the police. Even for traffic ticket, if I park in the tongue. Work hard them. Because when certain people vehicle park up all the way, they not want a ticket on them. You understand? So they picking and choosing who to bamboozle. Record everything with these police officers. Because you have a right to record them. Don't let the police tell you you don't have no right to record them. Well, they didn't tell me that. Can't tell me that. Because if you touch my phone, it's an assault. It's my property. You understand? You can't have your citizens under arrest and still ill-treat them for no reason. We are powerless already. but they're accustomed to get away with it. But ain't nobody gonna treat this youth and get away with it, you know. Kinda go walk. So I guess they're gonna learn how we go. But yeah, son, that's my piece right there.
Yeah, well, give thanks and totally understand your position, and I agree with that. No loitering. I mean, if you come in with a warrant, you come through. But I mean, other than that, y'all ain't gonna respect for Rastafari in these times, and so Rastafari can't just, be allowing themselves to be, smiling up and friending up with people who really and truly on the other side just hoping to criminalize you. I mean, you here, you're functioning as much as possible, trying to be a good citizen, and for you want to criminalize me for something that really and truly I have constitutional rights to deal with, and you know it too. So I mean, yeah, I definitely can subscribe to that. As Bankie mentioned, I also want to encourage folks to take a visit into the Heritage Village and look for Heritage Cafe. We're going to be having a brunch, Mother's Day brunch, so you could, call and get some more information in relation to that. We're going to be open on a regular, serving a lot of local food, dishes that you don't necessarily get anywhere else, beverages that you don't get anywhere else. The ambiance is perfect, and so we're looking forward for you to, come on out and support Heritage Cafe inside Heritage Village there in Nevis. And if you, don't know exactly where the place is and you need a taxi to get you there, if you're coming from St. Kitts and or any of the neighboring islands and you need a taxi to get you around, check out Imperial Rides Taxi and Tours, and we can get you there and we can get you around. So just want to encourage you, to come and visit Queen City Nevis, enjoy our wonderful scenery, and even those who are living in Nevis, because today, Bankie, there were people who came there who said that they're living in Nevis and they have never been over there and they never even know where the place existed. I mean, so I'm encouraging people on Nevis to explore your island and learn more about the things that we have and appreciate what we have, so that we could hold on to a lot more of what we got, because we're losing a lot of these historical sites and other significant, areas in our country, losing them to foreigners, expats, and all that. And a lot of it we can use and empower ourselves and employ ourselves and so on. And I am very much in favor of that. And so with that, I'll wrap up. I want to thank everybody who would have participated, whether by making their comments or their calls. I want to encourage you, before you leave, go on over to the YouTube platform, click on the notification bell, subscribe, like, and also want to encourage you to support the Mother's Day event as well for Island on the Rocks and Islander water sports over there in the Oli area. So with that said, check out Shabba's Organics tomorrow, and check us out also at Heritage Cafe tomorrow. We would be open over on that side.
Remember,
So
also
Bankie,
on the rocks every Sunday they also open up for dinner, for lunch and dinner and stuff like that, and so forth. Okay, go ahead, Yahsonn.
no, well, basically, I was just gonna wrap up
Finish.
with that. Encourage
Okay.
folks to go on over to the YouTube platform before you leave. Like, click, click on the notification bell. I want to encourage all of you who are, whether you're a supporter of cannabis or you're just a user of cannabis. We're here. We are supporting you. We're doing the work. We're seeking to bring the education and the topics to the table. Feel free to engage. Feel free to share, and always hold your elected officials accountable. That's what I want you to do. In Nevis, hold Eric Evelyn accountable. Ask him what's going on with cannabis in relation to from the agricultural perspective. Ask the Premier if he's going to find a way to connect or get the arm of the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs to function in Nevis, so that the divisions don't have to go over to St. Kitts for everything. And hold him and hold Jeffrey Hanley accountable on St. Kitts as well. Ask him why he was dragging his foot for all these years and still having Rastafari and other people being harassed. And still, even though this has happened, that you're still having little challenges to get these things clear up after 2019. So people, give thanks. We welcome you next week, Tuesday. We have Camila Lawrence from Social Security. On Monday, we'll have Quality Time with Alan. And then we have another edition of Everything Agriculture next week, Friday. So until then, enough love, guidance, and attention every time.
This Mother's Day, give her more than a meal. Give her the experience. On the Rocks.
At Shabazz Organics, we believe real people deserve real food. So we're bringing you to Mansa's Last Stop, a farm where food barriers are removed and legacy is sustained. We believe there's power in picking, so we allow you to decide what leaves the farm and enters your kitchen organically.
When comfort, class, and reliability matter, choose the ride that delivers more. Imperial Rides Transportation Services, where every journey is treated like royalty. From airport transfers, private events, shopping trips, island tours, and executive travel, Imperial Rides moves you in style, clean, comfortable, on time, every time. Book your premium taxi or tour service today. Call or WhatsApp 869-665-8459 or email elandflavas@gmail.com. Imperial Rides Transportation Services. Your journey, our priority.